But what I typically do in high stress scenarios is exactly like fight or flight. I'm all the way fight, like you mentioned. But along with all the way flight, I prepare myself for the absolute worst fucking scenario. Okay, next question. How do I deal with times of extreme stress? Well, I don't deal with it well. Okay, let's just get that out there first, okay? You know, you've seen me in times of extreme stress. Now, I say that, and I say it jokingly, but also not jokingly. That's actually one of my downfalls, I feel.
In what sense?
Okay, so when there's times of extreme stress or shit's really hitting the fucking fan, I get a little crazy, right? Not crazy. Maybe I see you're shaking your head there.
Yeah.
Maybe not crazy. Maybe you explain it. Maybe you're better at explaining this because you. It's always easier for somebody to observe and then communicate rather than me trying to look at myself and communicate.
The easiest way to explain is like people have a fight or flight sensation when they're experiencing stress.
Yeah.
Right. You just if you have, let's say, a spectrum where fight is on one side and flight is on the other, and you might have some people that they're always fucking avoiding stress and avoiding conflict or whatever. Maybe most people operate somewhere in the center. You turn up the dial on fight mode. Like you're just like fucking full volume, like whatever it is.
Is that right? That's how you feel?
Yeah, it's
really?
just like whatever.
I never heard that. That's actually pretty hilarious.
And it's not necessarily on like fighting a person, but it's like fighting whatever the problem is that's causing stress. You just go fucking head first into it, and you just don't stop fucking punching until it's dead. Right? It's just the reality. So it's not really like stress management. It's just like you just fucking dive right into it.
Yeah, and it literally that's so hilarious that you mentioned that. And something I've noticed when this kind of stuff happen, it absolutely consumes me until we solve the fucking problem.
Right.
Yeah, and it is true. Like I will literally. So I remember this. So one of our employees, you know how I hate this shit. Mm-hmm. One of our employees, this was actually maybe a month ago. One of our employees messages me and he's like, "Hey, when you're free, I really need to talk to you."
Fucking, I hate that.
God, do I fucking hate that shit. Anybody listening, if you work for me, or if you plan on working for us or the group or whatever, don't you ever fucking send me that message.
Yeah.
Okay? Automatic shit list. Okay? I hate that. So I called this person.
Even if you're just like in any other job, or honestly, even in any relationship, family relationship, whatever, be like, "Hey, like I gotta talk to you about about a customer not paying us something or whatever." Just like say whatever the issue is.
Don't even say it. Don't even say it unless in that moment you can talk.
Yeah.
Don't even fucking say it. Don't even, and this wasn't a text message. Don't even say it unless you can talk about it on the phone, in text message. If you, because it was like in person, right? Well, hey, I wrote back and I'm like, "Well, I'm available now." Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is at 11 at night or something shit like that, okay? No, I'd rather speak with you in person. When are you available? Motherfucker, call me right now, and we're solving this now, or we're going to talk about it now. We're not going into like, it's not happening. We're going to deal with it now, and it's going to get out in the open. Don't ever fucking do that. Mm-hmm. That shit drives me nuts, and I know I'm not the only one. So with your like fight or flight, and I'm like fight mode, I 100% can see exactly what you're talking about now, because I'll just be like, my mind, the way that my mind works, when something like that happens, when there's like times of extreme stress, and this was not an extreme stress scenario, okay? But you've seen,
but it triggered that. Well, it could be
exactly
right, like,
exactly,
because that statement often follows up with shit hitting the fan.
I already knew. I already knew. It wasn't like a good statement, okay? Like you don't say shit like that unless.
Yeah, no one says we need to talk or whatever. And the next day in person, be like, "Oh yeah, our sales are up 50%."
Yeah. So where was I going with this?
Just how you responded in the moment, like.
Yeah. Fuck, I totally lost my train of thought here.
Well, you were bringing this up as an example.
Yeah, I know that, but like. Oh, So this scenario wasn't a time of high stress, but what I typically do in high stress scenarios is exactly like fight or flight. I'm all the way fight, like you mentioned, but along with all the way flight, I prepare myself for the absolute worst fucking scenario.
Yeah.
And I always have done that. And I don't know why I do that. A lot of people are like, no, you shouldn't do that, this and that, because it's never really the worst case scenario. But I feel if I prepare myself for the worst case scenario and somewhere in the middle happens, I'm always going to be fucking prepared.
Yeah.
And that is it.
Yeah. And you always vet through every single option. It's like, hey, well, what about this? Well, what about this? What
100%.
about this? What about this?
Do I do or
you
in
do.
general?
Yeah, you do.
I do.
Yeah. So what it does is it allows your brain to wrap your head around every single fucking possible thing that could happen given in this scenario. So that way you're ready for anything.
Yeah. So I'll give you this is a perfect segue into this next one that Connor actually include this in this fight or flight situation. I literally just dealt with this today. We've been having a sewer issue at the golf course, okay? Non-fucking stop sewer issue. Every single time a venue happens or a banquet or whatever, doesn't matter, an event happens, sewer backs up, fucking toilets are useless, never ends. This has been happening. It's fucking November now. It's been happening since April. We can't figure out the fucking problem. We've had septic people out there because this is placed on septic. We've had septic people out there. We've had sewer experts out there. We've cameraed the lines. We've fucking eeled out the lines probably 5 times at this point. I've sucked the fucking septic tanks dry. I've sucked the sewers dry. Like, bad example, but you get what I'm trying to go with. Yeah. All that shit's happened and still not figuring out the problem. So I finally get a plumber that I've used on big jobs here because, and this is partially my fault. And I take blame for this because I should have known, instead of taking advice from septic people, from sewer people, I should have gotten an actual fucking plumber there and I should have dealt with it myself. And one of the reasons why I think it's gone on this long is because I haven't been there my actual self. So we finally get there. Guy throws down a camera in the sewer line. So we trace back where everything's kind of backing up to this one main clean out where actually I'll throw a picture up. You can see I actually this past Saturday night I was there Saturday night eeling out the line. So I'll show you guys. So anyways, Saturday night we end up clearing the line. Everything is flowing now. Everything's working fine. But today I wanted to find out what was actually going on because there's clearly something going on here. Okay. We throw a camera down there. The plumber that I have a decent relationship with is like literally he has never seen better and cleaner sewer lines in his entire fucking life. Okay? 85 feet in, he's like, these are fucking pristine. And this is not a new building. Okay? And you gotta understand. So he calls me over. He's like, hey guys, because there's a couple other guys there with me, my contractor, all that shit. He's like, hey, come over here. So I kind of start rounding the corners that I didn't see on the camera, like on the display of the sewer camera yet. He's like, these are the nicest lines I've ever seen. I thought he was joking, so I'm like, fuck, man. Like,
yeah, like being completely
sarcastic. I thought he was completely sarcastic. I look at the fucking camera. He's like, he's not joking. He's like, these are the cleanest lines he has ever seen in his life. Weird. And I'm like, well, we just eeled it out. We just did this. We just did that. He's like, even still, I've never seen cleaner lines ever. So I'm like, what the fuck is going on? So then we get 85 feet with a small camera. So then he throws pristine lines. Pulls back the camera. We go back in with a larger camera, a longer camera, about maybe 250-foot camera now. And we're going through. Still, like past that, we get to about 140 feet. And where the septic bed is, there's like this clean out, okay? That's connected to a pipe that's flowing into the septic tank, right? That should be probably for the bathrooms, but we can't see any water flowing, okay? So we're like, what the fuck is going on here? And when the guy was eeling the lines, he's like, the couple days before, he's like, go out to the septic bed, put your ear to the clean out at the septic bed and hear if you can see if you can hear the eel. Okay. So I go out there. I can't hear shit. All I hear is like a very light hum. Okay. And you can see inside of this clean out, it's got to be probably fucking 10, 12 feet deep into the ground. You can see it almost looks like dirt. Okay. So we push the camera. So then the camera obviously loses fucking picture, okay, inside the fucking drain. Then it miraculously comes back. And we're at the mouth of what we think is the issue. He's got a locator right outside of the septic bed, so he could find the head of the camera, and he's located it right around where this cleanout is, maybe about right where the building ends. So he's like, oh, okay, what's probably happened is, and this is when the camera was like not showing a picture, the building settled or the dirt on the septic tank settled and it shifted the pipe. So if you have a pipe, let me try to do this. So if you have like a pipe like this running and this is the building and this right here is the ground where the septic tank is, the pipe kind of shifted like this, right? So now you have a blockage where only like a trickle of water is flowing kind of thing, right? So that's why over time, as we have an event Saturday, everything backs up. People can use it throughout the week because there's not heavy bathroom use.
Right.
You see what I'm saying? Because the water can trickle. You know what it was? So what we had was what he thinks. He doesn't know for sure because when you put the camera down, you couldn't tell what it was. But as we pushed the camera up to something, it looked like it was a big fucking wad of toilet paper. And what he thinks happened was the eel, when it was going through, made a tunnel through the toilet paper where I don't even know how to explain it. So this is like the clean out, okay? And the line is running like this, okay? What he thinks happened is the eel ran underneath the clean out so we couldn't see the water flowing. And when this sewer line would back up, it would push debris up the clean out. But it looked like dirt. So what we thought originally was it was a collapsed line with dirt in it. What ended up happening was the eel just fucking eeled out underneath it. So as you can see, but when you rolled the camera up to it, you could see underneath was clean, but a big pile of shit right above the clean out was hanging there. So we took like a 12-foot PVC, like 2-inch pipe and jammed the fucking clean out down, and it brought down this big clog of toilet paper. And then we threw a bunch of water down the drain from we flushed all the toilets, and it fucking cleaned it right out. Now in the clean out, you can see right there that it's fucking flowing right in the septic tank. Holy fuck. But what they thought was really odd was what appears to be a P-trap coming only like a few feet out of the septic tank. So there's a couple of reasons why these guys are thinking that there might be a P-trap on there. Number one, to prevent gases from inside of the septic tank going into the P-trap into the building, right? Mm-hmm. Also rats going into the septic tank and then going back into the building because they can go into sewers. Snakes or whatever the fuck, right? The whole point of the story is, as soon as I fucking started looking into this and got on site on Saturday night, all of a sudden fucking miraculously within 48 hours the fucking problem's fixed because I won't stop. And we have had people on site, some, with a focus on it and not a focus on it, right? Some people I've had for example, Jesse, I was more concerned about Jesse operating the property rather than, getting the situation fixed. But there's been other people that have been on site that can at the end of the day, we just need a little bit of, problem solving skills here, right? Get the right people on site and solve the fucking problem. So that doesn't really segue into what we just spoke about, but at the end of the day, I don't even know how that segues into that.
No, it does. It's just essentially you responding to stress as you just fucking keep going until you figure out the solution.
There you go. Yeah. So really the segue into what we were just talking about, the whole fight or flight thing, I won't stop until the fucking problem's fixed. But this problem, I should have been on site right away because it got solved in 48 fucking hours. And leaving it up to other people, it's been an 8-month fucking issue. 8 fucking months. Maybe not 8 months, maybe like 6-7 months. And if I would have just addressed the problem from the get-go, we wouldn't have had this issue like outstanding for so fucking long. So yeah, I mean, I guess at the end of the day, me being extreme when extreme situations happen, that's how I deal with the fucking stress. Like I plow through it, man. Like I feel like I will purposely put myself under an immense amount of stress, and it's not unusual for me to actually like make myself sick over it, to be honest with you, but I get the job done. I get it done, and I figure out what the fuck needs to happen, and maybe that's not the most healthiest fucking situation, but I get the fucking job done. But that's also another reason why every day, highs and lows in the gym, but at the end of the day, that's why every day we bust our ass in the gym, because when these super high stress situations come up, I can deal with them, and it doesn't take me out, right? I don't crumble because of it, right? If I feel like if I didn't do that, and I wasn't used to acute amounts of high stress and me developing a high stress tolerance, when these high stress situations like this come up, I'd fucking crumble. I'd be an emotional basket case. Because this is, I actually do think that one of the reasons why people aren't able to run their own business is because of the high stress, because it's outrageously high stress. Outrageous. The amount of responsibility and the amount of accountability that you feel, like, dude, like when I actually, this is why I don't even reflect, because when I actually reflect and think like, holy shit, there's like 100 and something families that depend on me and our income and for us to produce and for us to perform, it's a lot of stress, right? So this is why I don't think a lot of people are capable of doing it. So that's it.